What's up for this week? The fall seasonal release from Southern Witchcrafts. Hello again, Michael Friedberg from beautiful North Carolina, and today I have one new product to review. It is the fall seasonal release from Southern Witchcrafts. The name is spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. It is a reference to a Celtic festival which really celebrates seasonal transition from summer into fall and then into winter. As you can see, they have a kind of a cool, spooky little Halloween themed pumpkin on the bottom there. The scent notes, the primary scent notes, are listed as pumpkin, sandalwood, bourbon, and tobacco, but I believe it also contains musk and amber and oud and charred wood and incense and vanilla. I think those are the others. Let me show you what it looks like inside the container. A very nice light color, very soft and a little bit tacky. The scent, the scent is kind of a rich, soft, somewhat sweet, kind of a delicious scent. For me, I can definitely smell the pumpkin, I can definitely smell the tobacco. There's kind of a rich sweetness from the bourbon. There's a very nice kind of woodsy scent in there, which I imagine is the sandalwood and the oud, but there is a touch, an undertone of that wood, which I think is the charred wood, because there is kind of somewhat of a kind of a smoky scent. And then there is a really nice kind of through note of sweetness, which I think for me is mostly the vanilla, but oh man, it really smells good. This got a thumbs up for my wife as well, so well done on the scent there, Southern Witchcrafts, Courtney, very well done. All right, I have that pressed into the Captain's Choice loading bowl. You can see the remnants of this week's scooping. Yeah, for those of you that are wondering, so what I do is I will only ever scoop out of the container. So I never use the soap in the container, and that's because I tend to give away a lot of soap. So people can kind of get a little bit squicky about the fact that maybe you were using a brush that was on your face in the soap and it got wet, and did you leave it to dry properly and so on. So I never use the soap in the container. I always scoop out what I'm going to use into the loading bowl. So this is basically untouched. So if I pass it on, you can rest assured that it has never really been used at all. Okay, for today, because it is a Southern Witchcrafts day, I'm going to pair that with the Dogwood Handcrafts, because they are really kind of a unit in some ways. I picked that soap up from them. They handed that to me for review at the North Carolina Witch Savers meetup. So that is literally a handed over for review product. The Dogwood Handcrafts with the Declaration B7 not in there. Today's razor is going to be the Maggard V3, just the standard V3 head. I have in there a Gillette Sharp Edge blade, which I think in terms of marketing is probably that's a kind of a clever way to market your razor blades. I can imagine that there were a couple early ones that they tried to see if they, flew with consumers. There was the dull edge and the rough edge and the not sharpened edge, and then I think they finally settled on the sharp edge. I also purchased this year this very cool blue, I think it's the MR11 handle. The knurling on this is really distinct, a little bit sharp and rough, which I really like. If you're looking for a well-knurled handle, really? If you're looking for a well-knurled handle, then this is a great option. Just love the way it looks. That is just a cool looking combo right there. All right. Let's go get my face wet and I'll start lathering up. We'll talk about the soap performance and anything else that comes to mind. Yeah, I also managed to pick up a bottle of the matching aftershave, the Samhain aftershave, which I'll use at the end of the shave. That was on the PIF table and nobody had picked it up. So, well, I went ahead and grabbed it because if it was just going to stay there, then I might as well use that to pair with the shaving soap. So, for all of you that didn't pick it up, thank you. All right. I'm going to start off with a relatively dry brush. This should be plenty of soap for today's shave. Now, this is a vegan soap. This is, I think, the V2, obviously, of their base. There was a previous base. This is the new base, or at least newer than the previous one. And it is a fantastic soap. It is just a really easy to work with, a dense, creamy soap that is easy to lather. I'm just going to make sure I get plenty of it loaded. But you can kind of see what's happening there already. Getting kind of a nice thick paste building. Not a lot of froth, not a lot of runniness. Really nice density to the soap. Again, it just goes to show that vegan soaps can produce just as dense and creamy a lather as a tallow-based soap. And they may feel a little bit different. I'm not sure how much of that is just straight psychology. But look at that. See, that is producing a really nice creamy lather. All right, a little more water. And that should be plenty for today. There we go. All right, so as always, wet my face again a little bit and drip a bit of water onto the face of the brush, so we're starting kind of wet on wet. And the brush is still just so fantastic. Really nice, dense knot. Super soft on the face. Still really good for face lathering. Doesn't splay too much, but does splay. The scent remains pretty strong when lathered. I think it's stronger out of the container, but still definitely all there. All right, a touch more water. Yeah, a touch more. I'm just painting that in a little bit. This can be a thirsty soap if you overload. Definitely want to watch, make sure you're using enough water. You'll know if you're not, if when you go to rinse off your razor and the lather is still sticking to the razor head. It is ragweed season here, and I am definitely very sensitive to that pollen, and that face gets a little inflamed. So I've had a couple days this week where combination of shaving a little distracted because of work, skin being a little irritated, left me with a little bit of razor burn. And I like this head. It is, for me at least, a touch less comfortable than the Edwin Jagger, but it's also a lot cheaper. This handle though is fantastic. Good length for me, really like the knurling. Yeah, just have to watch it in the bottom part of my neck. Nice and light, nothing crazy. You know, I feel like I say it all the time in these shaves, but you know, you have to let your skin kind of be the guide. You can't just have this very dogmatic approach to your shaves where you're just going to shave the same way every day regardless of the outcome. If you're shaving and it's just rough and your skin is not up to it, stop at the 2 passes. There's just no need to push it. All right, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of water on the brush. I'm going to pull some of the lather that's on the bottom of the knot. And let's lather it for pass number 2. Soap has a really good, strong, kind of persistent slickness to it. Good density. Really good protection. Really easy to use. And what I like about what they're doing is that they're offering kind of a mix of scents. If you want this soap base because you're interested in the vegan soap, and you want kind of a straightforward single note scent, they have a number of those. There's lavender, there's grapefruit, and a few others, I believe. But then they're really focusing on these other scent styles. And given how crowded the soap market is, I think that's a really smart move. There's definitely people out there that like these kind of stronger, heavier, denser, richer scents. Don't shy away from maybe being a little bit on the edge. I personally really like this scent. All right, pass number 2. This is going to be across the grain, for those of you keeping track. Yeah, just be nice and gentle here. I'm not entering a BBS contest later on today, so there's no need to get all crazy. Oh, beautiful. Soap's just really good. I've had just like that. Every day this week, a tiny drop. Somewhere, just fragile. A little thin skinned right now. I mean, literally thin skinned. Residual slickness on the soap, also quite good. So when you rinse your face, a really nice slick layer there. All right, now again, I don't recommend shaving where there's no lather, but if you're the kind of person who likes to use that residual slickness for kind of a cleanup or buffing, then go for it. Final pass. Yeah, I'm really glad I went for this particular brush handle shape. I find it so easy to hold basically the entire length of it, fits easily in my hand. Squeeze out some of the remaining lather, but gently. And you can see how well that's holding together. No dissipation, not falling apart, no thinning. There we go. All right, pass number 3. Yeah, I had just one tiny circular hair right there that obviously got twanged. So anyway, against the grain. And I've had one of those every day this week. There we go. As always, 2 days of growth for these shaves. Would you all already do that? There we go. Beautiful. There we go. I'm going to stop right there. All right, time to talk about the rinsing sub. This is one of those subs that is in fact a little bit hard to rinse off. That's a positive and a negative in the sense that it's hard to rinse off, but it's also hard to rinse off. There we go. Yeah, I really like that soap. It's really, really well done. Big props to Southern Witchcrafts. That soap base has made leaps and strides since that first release. And they continue to bring a good, really interesting approach to their scents. All right. Whew. All right, that was the shave part done. Now, the aftershave. So the aftershave is soaking wet because of all the splashing. So I'm going to dry that off first. As you can see, a repeat of the label, so the pumpkin is still there. Samhain. This is a alcohol-free witch hazel-based aftershave, which is essentially witch hazel, aloe vera, glycerin, scent, and like one or two other ingredients. So it is a very, very simple aftershave splash, and that's really all that it is. It's just meant as a kind of a post-shave treatment, just to cool off a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but it is white and very thin and runny. You really don't need much because it's not like it really soaks in. It's not like a balm. It does leave a slightly slick layer on your skin when you first put it on, which turns tacky once it begins to dry down. Just a really nice kind of cooling, calming effect. I would definitely call this kind of a simple aftershave because it really is just witch hazel, aloe, and glycerin. But feels good going on. Still beautiful, strong scent when you first apply it, but it is just the aftershave splash. That scent does not last for that much longer after that. And I get, for the aftershave, a stronger note of the charred wood. It's a little bit... it's definitely more woodsy and smoky in the aftershave for me than sort of the deep sweetness on the soap side. This is one of the aftershaves where I rinse my hands afterwards. I have always been kind of not a fan of that kind of tacky aloe feeling, certainly not on my hands. So this is one of the many aftershaves that I rinse my hands after using. All right, well, yeah, you can see right here, sort of a burgeoning, that's where it would happen, the razor burn. So those are the kind of things you just have to watch for and just take it a bit easy on yourself. You just know that in this time of the year, I just have to watch it a little bit and just be a bit more gentle with myself. Self-care really matters, and in fact, it really does. All right, let's talk about today's products because this shave is done. Really happy with how that turned out. Not too shabby, as they say. For today, the Southern Witchcrafts Samhain. Pumpkin, sandalwood, bourbon, and tobacco. Those are the primary notes. It does smell fantastic. It's a really deep, rich autumn scent. If you like to pair scents with the season, I don't really ever do that, but I know the people that love to do that. This is a fantastic choice for this time of year. Check out the Spooky Pumpkin. Really nice stuff. Excellent soap base. Really easy to use. Lathers easily. Very good slickness and protection. Difficult to rinse, but that's in part because it is really quite slick and stays on the face. Excellent stuff. Really enjoy using that. Thank you, Courtney. Really appreciate it. We followed that up with the matching aftershave splash, which, as I just said, is really just a witch hazel, aloe, and glycerin-based aftershave. Nice scent strength on this. It starts off strong, but don't expect this to last. They do sell in eau de parfum, I believe, of the same scent. So if you want the same scent to last and last, go for that option. Today's brush, we're kind of keeping in the family. Stephen Joinder's video for that egg, that Jurassic egg, is just, it probably has hit 10 million views already. So congrats to that guy. That thing has gone crazy. Here is this fantastic, fantastic brush. Dogwood Handcrafts handle, Declaration Grooming B7, not in there. Wonderful stuff. And then let's not forget the thing that did most of the work, the razor with the Gillette sharp edge blade. Very cool looking handle from Maggard's. Excellent knurling, really easy to hold. Zero chance this thing will slip. A simple, straightforward razor head, the V3, is just a simple, straightforward performer. And as part of the starter kit, I think this is just an excellent, excellent option. Great price and great value for what you're getting. I think that's it. We're done. That's it for today. Thank you again, as always, so much for watching. I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch these videos. As always, please feel free to leave comments and questions against this video or any previous video. I will try to catch up with the comments, I think, from last week that may still be outstanding, but I will do my best to catch up. Thank you again, as always, so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.